Hello, everybody. It's me, Ross, and welcome to another video. Today, I'm joined by Bloomers and Ben DF as we predict the March fixtures, the make and break month for Town. Can they still get in the playoff spots? Bloomers, I'm going to bring up the fixtures. We have 2 away games and 3 home games. First up is Fleetwood Away this weekend. Another long trip for the Tractor Boys. What do you reckon? Can Town get through all 3 points?
I think it's going to be tougher than people think. We don't seem to do very well on these long journeys. 2 seasons ago, we beat Fleetwood Away, which seemed like a very pivotal win at the time. But actually, it was probably the end of that little dawn that we had, false dawn that we had under Paul Lambert. And since that game, we went on a bit of a decline, a terminal decline, really. Fleetwood are no great shakes in the division this season. They're right down the bottom. And actually, when it comes to the sort of bottom 8 teams, we've been doing really, really well. We haven't lost to a bottom 8 team all season. So that should give you confidence. I think, seeing Fleetwood haven't won the last 5 games at all, I'm going to predict a win. I think it's going to be a hard-fought, gritty win. But yeah, I think we'll get the job done just about. We'll go for a 1-0. So our defensive record under McKenna has been absolutely fantastic since he's come in.
Indeed. So 3 points so far for Bloomers at a possible 15. Ben, we had to score late against Fleetwood at the home game, of course, Selena's goal. Are you reckon Town can get back-to-back wins against Fleetwood?
Yeah, I'm with Bloomers in agreement. Makes this fixture a little bit boring in terms of us agreeing, but yeah, he's right. I can't see it being sort of 3 or 4, 5-0 win just because they're near the bottom. They're going to be fighting for their lives. It's a difficult place to go. There's no away game that's an easy place to go in this division. So particularly at the moment when all the points just mean so much. So I actually think we'll nick it by an extra goal. I've got 2-0 Town here. I just think if we can score early enough, which I just think McKenna's got a week on the training ground now to come up with some new shapes, some new different ideas of how we're going to penetrate their back 4 or back 5. I wouldn't be surprised if it, excuse me, I wouldn't be surprised if it was 0-0 at half time, but maybe goals in the 70th and the 85th minute, that kind of thing, to win. Yeah, 2-0 Town.
Okay, then clean sheets all round as well. Lincoln at home on a Tuesday night. Of course, this is a rearranged fixture. Of course, it was going to be that sellout PR, one of the third games of that. And I think once again, it's going to be a big crowd at Portman Road under the lights. So Bloomers, we beat Lincoln earlier in the season. A lot's changed for both sides. Lincoln, of course, have really struggled. What do you reckon Town could do against Lincoln?
Yeah, it was a win. I think it was the first win of the season against Lincoln at the start of the season. And it's quite impressive, actually, because Lincoln's probably one of our bogey sides over the last few years. Of course, there was the FA Cup loss. There was a 5-2 or 5-3 loss as well that I remember over Christmas period in our first season in League One. So it's not a happy team that we faced. But as you say, Lincoln are in a pretty desperate situation at the moment. And we, again, haven't lost to a bottom 8 team all season. Lincoln are currently one of the bottom 8, although they've got a couple of games in hand over a few of the sides around in the relegation zone. There's something stopping me just going out to pick a win here because of the current troubles we've had breaking teams down at home. And those drop points are probably what's going to cost us between now and the end of the season. I can see a similar situation here. I can see some frustration. I'll go for, I think, either 0-0 or 1-1. The score's going to be very binary, I think, over the next 5 games. But yeah, I'll go for a 0-0. I can just see us being frustrated once again.
Yeah, I think Lincoln could be that side. But then, Ben, Kieran McKenna said he thinks his side have got an opportunity to hammer somewhere at some point. Some people may earmark Lincoln to be that team because they are struggling, but they can be a frustrating team to play against. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think I'm somewhere in the middle. I do like to have that feeling as feeling positive and enthusiastic Town fan that we are going to beat somebody by 4 or 5 at some point. Again, Lincoln, they're getting drawn into a relegation battle. So like Fleetwood, fighting for their lives, fighting for their livelihoods in terms of those players and those contracts. So they'll certainly be coming to Portman Road looking for 3 points. I think that will probably work in our favour. And that's something that hopefully will work in our favour as the fixtures go on this season. Maybe we've got too many points to make up, but teams are going to come and not just park the bus. Like we've seen a lot at Portman Road this year. 1 point suddenly isn't enough when you get to this stage of the season. So I'm hoping even at this point, Lincoln will come with that attitude, because if they do, I think we've got far too much quality for them. The makeup of their side, I don't think they're like an Accrington who will come and bully us off the pitch. They'll come and try and play football, which, again, as I said, I think will work to our advantage. I think we may actually concede in this one, but I've actually gone for 3-1 Town. We've got to win the next 2 games to stand a chance of getting in these playoffs. So I've backed us to do so.
Okay then. All right then. Pompey then at Portman Road. So back-to-back home games here. Of course, we smashed them at their place, 4-0. Bloomers, I'm sure we won't probably do the same, because Pompey are on fantastic form currently. They're just behind us by a few points. What do you reckon? I know. Sorry, no, 2 points. I thought I got it wrong there, but don't worry. Ignore me.
2 points behind us, but they have also got 2 games in hand on us. So
yes.
Well, for me, you probably got to get 15 points out of 15 to be in the playoff hunt. And even if you do drop points against Fleetwood or Lincoln, you've got to beat, in my opinion, Pompey, Oxford and Plymouth, because you've got to be all of them, because they're all in and around those playoff spots, and you've got to start making up points somewhere. And when you haven't got games in hand, the only way you're going to get points made up on them is if you beat them. So these 3 games at the end of March are all must win. I don't think we will, but that's the way I see it. Portsmouth, 4 wins out of 5. Such a funny team, really, because you look at their defensive record, it's pretty good. I mean, they've only conceded 37 goals all season, which is less than less than 2 teams in the top 6 in the playoff spots, and the same as Sheffield Wednesday, and only MK Dons have got a better record. So it's funny that we smashed them 4-0 at home, and that's a complete outlier, really, when you look at some of the other results they've had. For some reason, we've had sort of good results against Portsmouth recently. I think we're going to win again. I said that they were no great shakes and we're never going to be in the playoffs when I previewed this back in, I think it was October, because the last time I did one of these was October, and then we ended up playing in that same month, Portsmouth and Oxford, and I think Lincoln as well. I can see it being, probably a binary score, but I'll go for 2-1. I'll go for 2-1. I think we'll have some success for some reason, and I'm not quite sure why that is, but this is one of the games that I feel more confident about than opposed to some of the ones that we maybe on paper should win, like the Lincoln game. So 2-1 and 7 points out of 9.
Indeed. And Ben, you're so far gone 2 wins out of 2. Will Town make it 3 wins out of 3 going into March?
Of course they will, Ross. I don't know why I'm so positive. I'm sure most fans watching this will think we've got no chance or whatever. But when we do these things, I look at the fixtures. I just think there's no reason why we can't win a game like this. Again, I think it will be to our advantage that Pompey, trying to make up points to get in those playoffs, will have to come out and play. I think there will just be the single goal in it. I've actually they played Oxford last night as we record this, and 3-2 they won. I think it will be the reverse, obviously, this time to Town. So another home win, but 3-2 because we're at home. I know we're conceding a few goals here out of the ordinary under McKenna, but I just think the games are going to be so different now. As I said, teams are going to come out to play. Pompey particularly, they need those points. They're trying to catch up with us. This is a huge game. As Bloomer said, we've got to beat the teams in and around us to stand a chance. But Pompey will be coming into it exactly the same attitude. So don't know which way the scoring will go, but I do back us to just absolutely launch ourselves into these games and just try and come out on top. I'm going 3-2 Town.
Ooh, a lot of goals. Bloomers up next will be Oxford, going to the Kassam, another packed away end. When we play Oxford, it's always boring games, always goalless draws. So are we going to see another one?
I was at the last 2, the last 2 that fans are allowed to be at, the 0-0 away from home when it absolutely poured it down.
Oh.
And the 0-0 at Portman Road in December. Yeah, Oxford are a funny old team, because I remember saying that, they're never going to be anywhere near the playoffs. They're deluded if they think they are. It shows what I know. Not for the first and last time I'll have egg on my face. Their last 5 home games after losing to Wigan at home is what win, draw, win. So you can probably predict where I'm going with this. I don't see us winning. I see us losing. They seem to have galvanised themselves at just the right time. I know that they've had a couple of losses either side of 3 wins in a row in their recent form, but they're very tough to get anything out of at Kassam. It'll be a big game for them as well. They'll probably have a good crowd as well. I don't see us getting anything from this. I think Carl Robinson's had our number on a few occasions as of late. And yeah, unfortunately, I can see this is where you can pretty much put one of the final nails in the coffin, and I'll go for a 2-0 loss.
Oh, Oxford, I've just seen, are the highest scoring team in the division, 6-7 goals in League One. Other teams around them have got similar, sort of like Rotherham got 61 goals, but 6-7 goals, 46 goals conceded. Ben, Bloomers has gone for that final now in the coffin. That probably will end any hopes of the playoffs. Are you going to go for another win?
I'm not. Sorry to disappoint. Blooms is probably talking a lot of sense, or a lot more sense than I am. I'm just possibly deluded, but it's more fun being this way until you get let down. I've actually gone for a draw. I just think we are still so much more difficult to beat. As we all know, under Cook, we lost some stupid points, some silly games. I think also Oxford at this point will be, if they keep going on this run, obviously it's in 4 games' time, if they're even further on this run and you win another 3, they'll be almost in the playoffs by that point. So a point to them will be a really good score, and I think it could just be a really frustrating afternoon for us, where they throw themselves on the floor and waste a hell of a lot of time again. I think there'll be goals in it because of Oxford's games include so many goals. And I'll always back us to score despite our struggles of note recently. Just for those reasons I've said on the other games that we're going to have to go hell for leather. So I've gone 1-1. It would still keep us in the picture, but it would mean we probably won't be able to catch Oxford, which looks unlikely anyway at this point. So yeah, 1-1, Ross.
Okay then. The final game of the month is against Plymouth at home. Of course, a lot is going to happen before that, but Bloomers, what do you reckon? Can we get back to winning ways after if we do lose against Oxford? Oh dear.
No, Plymouth are on a little bit of a slide, but I do feel the people that have already written them off for the top 6 may be a little bit premature. They were very unlikely to keep up their fantastic form in the first few months of the season, but with the fact that they've got 2 games in hand on, well, both the teams currently above them in Wycombe and Sunderland, means that if they get some points from those games in hand, they are right back in the thick of things. And I wouldn't be discounting them just yet. Again, we are solid at home because I think we've only lost twice at home all season. It's not the fact that I worry about us getting blown out, and that's only happened once, obviously the Bolton game, which was a lifetime ago under a different manager. I just have the feeling that these pressured home situations that we have at the moment just aren't. We don't seem to have the capacity to unlock defences and make it a rout. I mean, we did against Burton because we scored in the first minute, and that sort of allowed us to relax a little bit. But even then, it was only from a couple of really good saves in the first sort of part of the first half that we rode out the Burton Storm, and then it was fine. If we don't get that early goal, it just feels like the crowd, I'm not blaming the crowd, but the crowd seems to sort of get a bit restless. I completely understand it. And we seem to edge up a little bit and tense up. And obviously our striking situation at the moment isn't the best. And that is ultimately what's going to cost us in these games, like home games against decent opposition. So it's a very roundabout and long way of saying 1-1. But yeah, I'm going to say 1-1 because I just don't see us beating a team like Plymouth, which is sad to say. That will then leave us on 8 points from 5 games, which is about average for what we've been doing this season. It plays to the mean, and it's just not enough to make up any positions on the top 6, and we'll consolidate our sort of 9th and 10th place, which is ultimately where I think the season will end.
Indeed, unfortunately, possibly. I'm thankful that you did the maths there, because I was trying to remember what you said for each game. So 8 points out of 15 games for Bloomers. Ben, you've been more positive. I'm not saying Bloomers have been negative. He's just being a realist, probably. But Plymouth at home, of course, when we went to Home Park, that they beat us in a very entertaining game at Home Park. Probably maybe didn't deserve to lose that game. But Plymouth going to come to Portland Road. What do you reckon?
You won't believe this, Ross, but I've gone for a win. A town win. Again, would you believe it? I completely know exactly where Bloomers is coming from. I don't necessarily disagree with it or with any of his points, in terms of us averaging 8 points from 5 games. That's where we've been all season, etc. I'm just putting further blind faith in McKenna to just keep improving. So not keep us going as we have been, but even go up a level now, at the business end of the season, with all his know-how from the Manchester United and Tottenham coaching days, how to deal with different players, how to work different shapes, different formations. We do have this issue going forward at the minute. I've got faith that he'll sort that out. I am one of those people who think Plymouth won't make it into the playoffs because I think other sides are better than them. I'm hoping Town will be one. It's unlikely, I know. I think we will beat Plymouth comfortably, actually. I've got here, again, being completely blindly enthusiastic that we'll win 3 or 4-1. So just to try and bring myself down a little bit, I'm just going to say 3-1 Town again, which means 4 wins out of 5 with a draw against Oxford, which would be incredibly positive, of course, and get us all dreaming again. But yeah, I'm going to be ultra positive. 3-1 Town against Plymouth, and that would be incredible, wouldn't it?
It would be a very good month indeed, but yeah, we should see if it's going to happen. Bloomers, any other notes before we wrap up?
No, not particularly. I just feel like the thing that's going to cost us is just the current striker situation. It's going to be something that'll be addressed in the summer, and we've had our own chats on the group WhatsApp about people we'd like to see come in or changes we could possibly make. We'll see if Tyree Simpson gets a chance, but for whatever reason, that doesn't seem to be the case. Hopefully, one of our strikers can hit a purple patch between now and the end of the season, or maybe Wes Burns just continues to score at a goal a game or goal every other game ratio, and that might just be enough. But unfortunately, while he's addressed fantastically one end of the pitch, and I do love the fact that out of possession now we look so comfortable, it's just the other end of the pitch that might be the undoing of us, sadly.
Yeah, and Ben, any other notes before we finish? And of course, everyone else get involved in the comments.
And the future is bright. The future is bright. Please don't make me a team optimist. I'm really excited for next season under McKenna, and I think he's done a really good job. I just think the start that we've had this season killed it. And please don't make me. I'm a pragmatist rather than a pessimist.
Fair enough, Ben.
Yeah, I'm not demonising Bloomers at all just because I've come out as ultra positive. He is definitely a pragmatist and probably more realistic, as I know you are, Ross. But that's why I wanted to come on here and try and ooze some optimism just to even it up a little bit. So my main thinking is that teams have got to come out now and play against us a bit more. So as much as it's frustrating those 0-0 draw, the 1-1 and the 0-0 draw at home for Cheltenham, really frustrating week. I'm hoping we can put that behind us and these games will suit us more. That's really my thinking behind them. I even think that Fleetwood, like Bloomer said, will be a super tough game, even if we draw at the weekend, but we won 4 in a row against those around us. As much as that's unlikely, that would still keep us in it. And it is all about them attacking us and that suiting our game more. And our tactics going to be spot on from McKenna. So I'm still saying it's alive. March will be the deciding factor. By the end of this month, we'll know whether we'll just start switching our minds to next season or we're on that roller coaster still going up and down with the Town.
Indeed, we shall wait and see. The make and break month is March. We shall see what happens. Get involved in the comments. Let us know your thoughts, your predictions, and we'll be back for another video very soon. Bye-bye for now.